right?
So let's see, what can we talk about today? I would say let's talk about comic books, man.
Yeah.
Let's talk about comic books. I'm not gonna start with like the typical question where you go and say like, yo, what's the best comic books of all time? We'll get there, but I feel like if I had to like really zone in to like some of the best comics I've read per se, like personally, I mean, I'm always gonna stick to Marvel comics, honestly, because like I feel like personally, there is a shit ton of different genre of comic books out there, especially with mangas as well. But I mean, in my opinion, I just like Marvel in general.
Yeah.
I mean, the ones I've read, in order, like in like a good, like in a real good order, I would say the Death of Doctor Strange recently, and I'm gonna all the ones I'm naming right now is the ones like that are in that are currently that I'm reading currently in this moment. I'm not gonna say like before, yeah. The Death of Doctor Strange, I thought that was like a unique comic. It really dives into like some of like, I think they have like, I think Marvel actually had like another Death of Doctor Strange, but obviously they reboot the same story sometimes, or you know they have another author pick up the story or something like that. So this one was made by Jed Mercur. I know it's Jed something. I don't remember his last name. But I mean, it really is really unique on how like they kind of explain like his death and stuff like that. Because I mean, we're still not finished the series. I believe we're on issue number 5, so we still have this. I think the story is still continuing. The writer is actually just working on Moon Knight right now, I believe, because Moon Knight recently came out. So I mean, I think he's still working on the Death of Doctor Strange, but at the moment he diverted his attention towards Moon Knight and some other comic books. But
did this Doctor Strange issue start when the first Doctor Strange movie came out?
No, I believe the very first one, because I want to say like this series is relatively new. So I believe the first one came out sometime in last year, like I want to say like September.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Because I remember when we went out to that comic book shop.
Yeah, that's
when Spider-Man 3 came out, right?
Yeah, that's actually the very first time I heard about the series. And then I remember that one guy that was, when we was at the comic book shop, that one guy was like, yeah, I picked it up. He was like, yeah, that series is fucking great, man. I was like, oh yeah? So I checked it out and I was like, yeah, this shit is hot. Like, I like it a lot. Yeah,
it's awesome.
And
really like the cover art.
Yeah, the cover art is crazy. I never actually knew about like the different variants, because again, like I know I read comic books, but like I never was like into, like I was into comic books, but I didn't know like there was like special editions. And I mean, I know that's common sense, but if you've been shown it, I didn't know it until like our friend Ramir showed us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, you got to get the different variants. I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's sort of like a special, deluxe edition with like a game or something. You'll get like a different cover. It's just like that.
Yeah, but it's like twice the amount though sometimes, right? Like, I mean, well, you're supposed to catch it when it first releases, you know, on the shelf. But sometimes they don't even have the variant covers. And then that's when some fucking third-party seller tries to like flip it for like double the price. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm not paying fucking... It depends on what it is. If you're a true fan, that's fine. But if you're getting the same comic book for the first one, like for the very first issue, it's just a different variant, like the different front cover, but it's the same thing. I don't know. Like I said, I mean, comic book fans will be like, you don't fucking understand. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, they love stuff like that. The collectibles, even if it's the same issue, it just got a different cover. It's just like the rarity of it.
Yeah, but nowadays too, it's like, what's the point in getting paperbacks? I mean, like I said, like it's. I know it's more of a self like it's more of a self thing for most people out there. Like, look, I prefer to read paperback. It's a lot better. I'm not looking at a screen for like several hours and stuff like that. If you prefer, I do prefer like to take some time away from the phones and stuff like that. It's actually better to not strain your eyes. But hey, look, man, I mean, it's easy to access. And then after when, I'm going on a tangent, but like after, once you've done the paperbacks, it's kind of like, what else are you going to do with all this shit? I mean, yeah, you're going to have to probably get like a storage bin and probably put it like in the corner or something like that, or resell it in the future when it's actually the value goes up for it. Or, because you have cases, you buy the cases for the comic books, and then, you'll be able to like I said, salvage them, or, like I said, it's this like, kind of.
A lot of people, it depends on what kind of reader you are too. Like if you like to go back and reread the comic after a couple years after you forgot about it. Mm-hmm. Some people like to do that, or like you said, some people like to resell it once the stock price goes up on it. So it'd be worth even more.
I don't know. I get paperbacks a lot because I remember I used to be in that phase, but then I was like, nowadays I'd rather just get it on my phone. It saves a lot more time, and sometimes it's a lot more cheaper than, well, no, not really, because I think they're around the same price, but sometimes it's even free for like, if you have like a Cosmicology, Amazon Prime account with them, or not an Amazon Prime. I believe like you have, Cosmology has its own like separate account thing that you could subscribe to them and you read for free. I think it's called Unlimited, Cosmology Unlimited. Yeah. And I like that because it comes with like special deals and stuff like that. So, but anyway, I feel like we went way off course. But like I said, the main ones I'm reading currently right now, Death of Doctor Strange, The Amazing Spider-Man from 2018. They have over 400, like it has to be like in the 400s or probably more than that. They have a lot of issues for Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah.
Yeah, Spider-Man, that's like, you can go on forever with that.
Yeah. But I mean, because they always hitting the reset button with stories, and they kind of tell like different scenarios of which each storyline's about. But with this one, like I said, like I only started it, and it's kind of interesting how it starts. It starts with him going to college, which is good, and he's out of the Daily Planet, right?
Oh, okay.
Am I saying that right? Because I feel like that's why I'm pausing. I'm like, wait.
Oh, the Daily Planet? Oh, you talking about the newspaper thing that he worked for?
Yeah, the Daily Bugle. Okay. Yeah, because I always get those confused with Superman, because Superman has the Daily fucking Planet, I think, right?
Oh, their newspaper. I'm not sure what theirs is called, but I know Spider-Man's Daily Bugle.
Yeah, well, it starts with him. He actually got out of that job. He's actually his own man. Like he works for another company, I think a scientist company or something like that. But he's actually his own manager. So that's cool to see that he actually came from just being a photographer for a newspaper company, and then making shit money. So that's why he decided to, because years went by. I'm guessing, I'm not sure like how long, because I think he was in high school, right? If I'm not mistaken. He was in high school when he started, from what the lore was. I think he was in high school when he got bitten by the radioactive spider, and then, that started all his career and became, he was always studying to become a scientist. But at this point, I think like he still is trying, but because he's in college. But it's a unique take, you know what I mean? And I only read the very first issue. I didn't get a chance to like finish them.
Oh, okay. Start the beginning.
But it's a good start. So basically, I like the Amazing Spider-Man series from the 2018 start time.
Nice.
So there's that. I know I got one. I got a few of them. The X-Men Uncanny, the Dark Phoenix saga. That's one of the greatest X-Men comics of all time. Anybody would tell you like, anybody would tell you like, if you read Uncanny, like obviously that's their very first comic series for the X-Men, and the very first comic was actually called the X-Men Canny. Yeah, that's like the very first one. So I believe the Dark Phoenix started like in the hundreds or something like that, like way up there.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. It's a really good saga. I read a few of the comics actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's sort of it does sort of kind of like, if you've seen the animated series, it's sort of like it's sort of, they take bits and pieces from the actual comic book and it did apply it to the show, but it didn't really. There's some things that the show kind of left out that I actually didn't know. That's why I always think reading books and reading comic books is better, because it actually explains like what didn't the TV show or the movie showed on the side. Yeah. That's why I always prefer and tell people like, if it has a book, I tried to read the book. If you're like a bookworm, you know what I mean? If you decide to actually read books and stuff like that, I think you should probably read the book of that movie that you really like, because you might actually see something, or you see, or you didn't actually get a chance to experience like the full thing, like the whole experience of the story. Yeah. So, I always encourage people to actually like try to read the comics and books, because it's just, it gives you another take on that. Plus, I feel like a lot of people don't get to read a lot of books these days, unless you grew up with reading books, which is great. But a lot of people don't read a lot, man. It's just what they read in text messages and shit like that, and what's going on in today's world.
Books, it really depends.
Yeah, because
it's like this is the sort, that's the source of each product, whether it is a movie or a TV show. If it comes from a book, you should go to the source of it to see more details. You said.
Yeah, because I mean, I've never really, I didn't grow up actually reading books. I actually tried to like teach myself to read books, because, I didn't have that. I mean, I had the ability to do that, but I chose not to. I chose to play video games majority of my fucking childhood.
Yeah. I wasn't that interested in books early on in my life either.
Yeah, it was all about what was ever on the TV, and I wasn't athletic as well, so I just played games most of my life. And now I have a gaming podcast, but like I said, it's also about generalization about podcasting. So that's why I decided to like, let's talk about other shit on here.
Yeah, different subjects. Yeah, too.
But like I said, the X-Men and the Berserker, actually, because I wanted to check that out. With the Keanu Reeves, Keanu Reeves comic. I thought that was I just started actually a few days ago, but it was it's pretty interesting. I don't know if you're gonna get a chance to check it out, but it starts as him as being an immortal demigod, which is pretty cool. And obviously you expect something of like Keanu Reeves to like be like this fucking badass that fucks, that just goes and fucks shit up. And because from the very beginning, it is kind of explaining his background, but also it's like showing scenes from him kicking the shit out of people and, grabbing to shooting people. I was like, well, goddamn, take some steps in the fucking, can I at least get to know the character? Like, this man is already, there's one scene that it was in the comic, and it was just like, it was him like burnt up alive, because he actually, he was going to go kill like some sort of president from another country or something like that. Not the U.S. president, but he was like burnt alive or some shit like that. And I was like, what the fuck?
Damn.
I mean, it's cool, but overall the premise is cool. Like, I like that the character he has immortality as well. So, you know, he doesn't die.
Oh, he's immortal.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's immortal demigod. That's why I'm saying, like, it's just kind of like, well, goddamn, like all through the front gate, like he can't die. So I mean,
okay at
yeah,
that point.
yeah. So I mean, obviously they try to make the character look like Keanu Reeves because I mean, why not?
Oh, yeah, of course.
But it's a good start. You know, I only read like a few pages of the first issue. So, you know, like I said, it's a good franchise I'm checking out. And
you know what? I remember I heard like around the time where it first came out, he was trying to get like a Kickstarter for like people to fund it.
oh no, he did. He did. I think it was like a high amount. I don't remember exactly how much it was, but it was. I read it somewhere. Yeah, they funded a lot for this series to be brought alive. Yeah,
I remember that when it first was starting.
He made more money off of this. Well, I can't even say John Wick because John Wick made millions, but he made some decent money off of this shit. Like it was really good. So he's still making it's still like I looked at it on some type of website and still issues are still being like published. Like he's still working on this series. So it seems like he's having a good time. I don't even think he needs to even do another movie. If he chooses to, of course, he has that advantage, but he doesn't even need to do anything because this comic book series is kind of like giving him a good amount of money out of it. People are buying it. People are enjoying it.
Yeah, that's all. It's cool to see Keanu Reeves dive into like a different world of comics like that.
Yeah, that was. I always wanted to ask him that too. Like I always wanted to ask him that too. Like, or if anybody asked him, what made you want to do a comic book? I think they did ask him. They asked him that question on like one of those talk shows. But I don't. I don't know. I think he just said he had like an idea one day and just wanted to do it. It's crazy.
Oh, okay.
But it's like what made. But my thing is like, but what made that idea come alive? Like, did you always? I don't know if he was always in the comics. This is why I need to meet this man because I would love to ask him like 7 questions or several questions.
Very interesting and insight to know what it all came about.
Yeah. And I'm reading Dune. Like I said, I seen Dune. Again, I didn't take too fond to this series because I never knew it existed. Because again, I'm not really in tune with like too many sci-fi stuff, even though I am a fan of Star Wars, but on a surface level, not like a deep, hard fan that needs to go to like conventions and know exactly like each movie's detail, like everything about. I don't know any of that stuff, but I didn't like it at first because again, like it just, I don't know. When we went to the theaters to go check it out, I just was like, this shit is kind of boring. I don't get it.
I remember you being very disappointed.
I was. And then, it was just like that. The scene was kind of like the last part. Because mind you, they wanted to chop it up and add like add like a sequel to, this one, the first one that came out. But the thing is that I actually was told that the first Dune, the original Dune, the movie back in like the 80s or something like that, the old, the original that one had both parts combined. So why the fuck you didn't do that? Oh, because you wanted to milk the series. Why not? That's fine. I mean, I'm not mad at it. I heard
that the book is actually long. I think that's the reason why they want to add as much as the book has. I think from the information I got from Dune, like they're trying to basically be more loyal to the book versus the 80s one where it was just like kind of freeballing the story back then.
Yeah,
they said this one is more loyal than the 80s one.
Yeah, I get that, but it's just like if the next one is going to have like everything in the second book, I was told, like I said, the movie the movie from the 80s had both books from like the first book and then the second book combined into one film. Why the fuck you didn't do that? And then like obviously they have enough books because I believe there's like 6 or 7, if I'm not mistaken. There's a lot of them.
Oh, okay.
then you could have made 3, 4, and 5, whatever you want. But it's just like save the people time. That way, the ending was like the cutoff was like what the fuck?
Yeah, it's basically like a to be continued.
Yeah, like
you
bro,
already know it's gonna be a sequel.
it pulled one of those Quiet Place situations. You know, like in the radio station in part 2. I was like, what the fuck? I don't know.
At least it wasn't as abrupt like Quiet Place, but it did pull a to be continued though.
Why you didn't like the way that Quiet Place did it?
Oh yeah, the Quiet Place did it in a way like it's abrupt, like it wasn't like an actual ending. At least with Dune, it's like they told you it's going to be another part, but it was just like a to be continued kind of.
No, I mean, I didn't
agree
like
with you though. They should have again planned it out where they don't have to. This Dune movie is set like it's supposed to have that second part to it. It doesn't feel complete the way it ended.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because it needs that second part to it for the.
But the comic book. I mean, when I was reading it, because I got pretty far into the series as well. Into like the issue pages. Whatchamacallit, a lot of the scenes that I seen in there were like the movie kind of captured some of it from it, some of the scenes in the comic book, but there was some things in the comic book that actually the movie didn't really express it as well. So that's why I'm saying it's cool. That's cool to see like some things that weren't added into the movie, because again, movies aren't going to explain the entire thing because it takes too long. Mind you, there's only a certain amount of time that they have to record all this shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I assume like they're just trying to capture the highlights, but at the same time, while they're capturing the highlights, they're also trying to add their own taste onto that highlight. That's the part that fucking I can't stand in movies, because again, like sometimes it helps the story. I mean, yeah, like I said, sometimes it helps like whatever they're trying to capture, but sometimes they kind of ruin the story if it's a movie that's kind of making a story that, you know, because Dune's been out since like the 70s, right? Like something like that. It's been out for a long time. 80s,
the 60s even. Yeah,
I have no idea. It's been around for a minute, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if it's pulling it, if it's a movie being made from a book, it's like you can do that. You can still take the highlights of it out, but still kind of stay close. We've been talking about this a few times. Stay close to the story. It just makes more sense. I hate when they do that because it kind of feels like they waste time that way. You know, if they're true hardcore fans of this series as well, like, you know, they'd be like, come on, man, this was fucking disappointing and I paid money for this, you know?
Right. Especially if you know the source of it. Like,
yeah. But like, yeah, those are like sort of like my comic books that I'm reading, honestly. But that's what I'm saying. Like, honestly, I find it like I haven't read a lot of mangas, actually, none at all, if I'm not mistaken. Because I haven't found a good one. Because mangas are like, look, I go to Barnes and Nobles and I check out the section right there. That shit is like a fucking, like, it's like going to a movie store. Like, it's like a whole bunch of fucking aisles.
Yeah, I tell you, back then I don't want to go into a tangent about that, but Barnes and Noble used to be like a really small section when it comes to manga.
Yeah, what happened?
And then like over the years, as like anime started to get bigger, for some reason, it just got like huge. Like it's like taking up half of the Barnes and Noble now.
It's actually majority of Barnes and Nobles. Like the crime section is so small. At least the one I go to, it's like literally like 2 aisles. Excuse me. It's literally like 2 aisles, right? While I went into the manga section, it's like this one giant box. Like goes like that, and then they have one more aisle over the giant box. Like I'm like, I get manga is like itself, like it's been blowing up, but damn, like you just took majority of the fucking, like, what about the rest of the other genres people want to get into?
Yeah, I think it's just going based off of how much it's selling in the store, because that's how the stocks work. Like whatever sells the most, they put more in the forefront.
I'm sure there's a shit ton of good mangas in there. I just haven't found the right one to check out.
Yeah, it's with manga. It's like comics. It's a bunch of different genres within it.
I get so confusing because, like I said, I'm one of those people, like, I can't just go to a bookstore and just surf what I want to look for, because it's like a kid in the candy shop, like, because there's so many selections, I don't know which
It's
one to check.
overwhelming.
It's really overwhelming because you're just trying to look for something, zone into like something that you really want to check out, but there's so many selections and it's like, fuck. Yeah. And that's why I hate asking the people sometimes, because I don't like, I'm one of those guys that don't really like to bother anybody, but you need to in that sense, in that situation, because you need to know exactly where that book is at,
Oh yeah.
So when I go and ask them, I'm like, all right, I don't feel like looking through all this, but I'm looking for a specific book, like a book that kind of zones into like in this category, like something in self-development or fucking a comic book. Like, do you have this? And of course they'll be like, do you know the fucking do you know the author, the name of the book and stuff? I was like, no, I'm looking for something in that category. And they'll just be like, well, there's a whole fucking wall right here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to get suggestions, especially if you don't know that person of your taste. Someone that knows your taste, whatever genre it is.
But manga. No, I haven't checked out a lot of comic books, but I would like to, man. I mean, I do want to get more experimental, like with like not just mangas, but like other comics as well.
Yeah, me too. I'm not flips on the flip side. I haven't read any Marvel comics at all, so I definitely want to.
And I read a few DC ones. I love the Superman ones.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a huge Superman fan. Cliche is a little bit, but
yeah, you like what you like.
Yeah, but I know everybody likes fucking Superman. Like, I would like to like a character that nobody else likes. I've always been that kid that tries to be super different, and there's nothing wrong with that. But then it's like, also, you could still appreciate the top people as well,
Yeah, it's good to have a good mix.
Yeah. But what are some of the comics you're reading at the moment?
I'm currently reading this manga called MW. It's a comic from, I believe, it came out in 1967.
MW.
1977. My bad.
Oh, MW. What's it about?
It's basically about like this detective and this serial killer. It kind of shows from both of their point of views. So this detective, it starts off, I don't want to tell the whole story and spoil it, but it's basically like the detective goes around trying to trace down this serial killer. And it starts off, it goes back, it shows like when they're little, both of them as kids on this island. And this island is like the main character, the detective, he's the main character. And it's like this disease going on the island that him and the serial killer's at when they're younger. And the disease is called MW. And basically when a detective was younger, he was in a gang, and the gang was trying to stop this corporation from happening that produces the MW disease on the island. And so once they killed the leaders of the MW corporation, whatever, they set off the disease by accident, and it killed everybody on the island but those two, the detective and the serial killer. At the time, the serial killer wasn't a serial killer yet. He was just a kid, and the detective was like like a teenager at the time. So, but the way the serial became a serial killer is because the disease messed with his head, and it kind of corrupted his mind. And so, fast forwards into the future. And the serial killer, just since his mind is so fucked up, he just goes off and starts killing people behind the detective's back. But they used to be friends. Shit. So he's basically, it's like a cat and mouse race. He's like trying to track down the serial killer as he goes along, mysteriously killing people. But he does it in like such a slick way. The serial killer is also like an accountant on the side. And he lives like two different lives, and he's like playing as an accountant.
I was just about to ask that. Like, does it explain on him why he became one?
Oh, the serial killer.
Yeah.
Oh, because of the NW disease on the island, it corrupted his mind.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it kind of fucked him up. So
damn, that's cool as shit. Because you said it's from like 1970. That's cool as shit. You know, that's like an authentic comic right there.
Yeah, it's really old, but it's made by like one of the first people that ever made manga ever. Like one of the godfathers of manga.
Who's that? Like, do you know who that is, or
the name? Wait, I can get the book real quick. It has it right.
Yeah, you good.
Yeah, I forgot the name. Yeah, what name's book? Let's see. Yeah.
Oh shit, that's a big ass manga.
Yeah, this chunky. It got like 3 volumes within one. The author is Osamu Tezuka. That's like the godfather of manga. Osamu Tezuka.
Osamu Tezuka.
Yeah, probably showing backwards on the camera.
Yeah, because no, you're good. I mean, because like I always wanted to like, I was out of curiosity. I always wanted to know like who made mangas. Like I don't want to know who made like regular comics, just mangas in general.
Yeah, he's like one of the first people to ever make like comics in Japan, like the pioneers of it.
Well, let me go ahead and rephrase that. I do have a curiosity for like both, but yeah.
He's I don't know if you're familiar with a manga or an anime called Astro Boy.
Astro Boy, I've heard of it. Yeah, is it the same like Astro Boy? Is it the same Astro Boy as I'm thinking of, or?
Yeah, probably. He's like a little robot boy.
Yeah. The one they made it like a show of him or something like that, right?
Yeah, they made all kinds of adaptations throughout the years of different versions of him. But yeah, he's the one that created that, and that's like one of the first animes too, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, that's cool as shit, dude.
Yeah. So that's what I'm currently reading. But in the past, like one of the first stories the first comics I ever read, mangas, it's a series called Akira.
Akira?
Yeah, Akira. That's like the first series I ever completed.
Go ahead and tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah, Akira is basically about like this biker gang that's like taking place in like the it's funny because it takes place in 2019, but it was created back in the 80s. So they, you know, like how old movies are where they try to predict what the future will look like and like a different time. But sometimes it ends up being like an actual year in real life.
A little bit.
Yeah. Basically, like, you know, like how the Terminator was, like how they try to predict how the future is today.
Oh, yeah.
It actually is. Yeah.
Oh, so it's sort of like the same concept then.
Yeah, it's like It's like it takes place. It was made in the 80s, but they try to predict what it is to now, but it looks more futuristic or whatever.
Is that like a more recent comic or?
Oh no, it was made in the 80s. Akira was made in 1982. That's when it originally came out.
Yeah, so it seems like your taste is like kind of looking towards like the back like the older comics.
Yeah, I got like a mixture of different mangas from different time periods. I got some from the 2000s, some from the 90s.
See, I try to do it that way, but it's like really complicated for me sometimes because with the older comics, they say like words that I don't quite understand and shit. Like when I read the very first X-Men, Stanley, I think it was Stanley and another creator, forgot his name, but they would use some like old words from that time era, the 30s and shit.
That different way back in those times.
Yeah, like it's the earlier times. I'm like, I don't get this meaning. I had like Google search some of the things. I was like, I don't get it.
Yeah, but it definitely helps you learn more new words. Like
it helps you learn new words, but I wouldn't advise using some of the words that were from that time era because they would be like, "What the fuck you said?"
Yeah, they speak totally different.
Yeah, like what?
Each generation has their own way of speaking. Yeah.
And it was crazy too how I actually discovered, like, I remember it was that one time that me and I think it was me, you, and Ramir, we were just curious, like, what was Marvel's first release from, you know, the very first comic that Marvel made, and it was the Human Torch.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a shocker there. I wasn't expecting the Human Torch.
Yeah, that was a shocker because I mean I thought it was like Captain America. That would have made more sense. I mean, not saying like Human Torch was trash or anything. I mean, he's not my favorite hero, but that was interesting. Yeah. But when I checked it out, there was words in there as well. I was like, I don't get this.
Yeah, it's hard to dive back into older series. Depends on what it is with me. If it's interesting enough, like a story, like I said, with NW, then I'll check it out. But, you know, it really has to pique my taste.
Gotcha.
I got like series from different time periods, like the 2000s and the 90s, and even today, like the series called Chainsaw Man. I got
a lot of newer shit. Yeah, a lot of my comics I'm reading are like kind of recent. You know, I don't nothing from like the 90s or, you know, 80s or whatever. I mean, the Human Torch I read like a while ago, but that was probably like one of the oldest comics I read.
Got you.
Yeah.
But going back to Akira, it's basically about like I said, about a biker gang. It starts out like this big ass explosion that happens in Tokyo, and it's caused by this kid Akira. That's like the main base of the series. Is like this kid. It's like these group of kids that when they was growing up, they got experimented on, and they gained these powers, like telekinesis powers, throughout these experimentations. As a
where'd they get the powers from?
Basically, it's like this. It's like this chemical that's like comes from like the science, you know, like scientists try to create new shit to make like a superhuman for like war or whatever. It's basically like one of those kind of
sort of like Captain America in a way, like how they made Captain America. They performed like some sort of experiment on them.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of experimentations on kids, and they was trying to make like an army, like a super weapon for an army.
Kind of sounds like the New Mutants. Like, I don't know if you ever checked out that movie.
Oh no, I've never seen that.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like that because they actually had a bunch of kids that had like different abilities, but they were like locked in like some sort of a center and shit to like train them. So, and of course they got tired of like being there, so they tried to like break out, and you know, there's a lot of things going on in that film, but it was good though. But basically, I'm just comparing it to that because it kind of sounds like that.
Yeah, but like the one kid, he's like the strongest, Akira, and he caused like an explosion in Tokyo, and so it just created like this whole reset.
Was it accidental, or he just did it on purpose?
He couldn't really control himself at the time.
So he still didn't know like how to control his powers. Gotcha.
Yeah. So it just fucked up, and he actually died from it. Like he is like basically like a suicide at the same time. Like it blew up the whole city along with it.
Damn.
So, but it shows years after that happened, that big explosion, and it's like a biker gang, and they're like they're fighting like this group called like the Clowns, and they're like on bikes, and they're, you know, they just doing gang shit, and they just fighting each other. But like one of the kids that was experimented on, they was fighting along the street, and the kid was in the middle of the street, and he blew up one of the main characters, and the radioactive effect from the telekinesis from the kid that hit the main character, it caused him to gain his powers as well. So then that one kid, his name is Tatsuo, and the other main character is called Kanata, and those two pretty much go at it. They start off as friends, but then they become arch enemies throughout the series. And like the one guy that exploded, he starts to, as the story goes on, he starts to gain the telekinesis powers like the kids did, and he just goes mad with power, and he just starts to change and become evil, and his friends tries to stop him basically as the city gets more fucked up.
Damn.
Like,
Damn, man, this is all interesting. I gotta check this shit out.
Yeah, it's also like around the time it came out with this huge movie called Akira as well, and it's that's like one of the best animated movies I've ever seen. That's like it broke box office records and everything, even in America at the time. It came out in like the 80s as well. I think that came out in 1989, the movie.
Gotcha. See, this is why I feel like I got to get into this anime world, man, because it's very different, it's very unique, and then that's why I said I wish I kind of, even when we start to build our audience, hopefully I can have like some really good conversations with a few people, and then kind of do like a lot of recommendations to check out different type of comics, because that's what I want. I mean, I'm always looking to look for different type of comics, but sometimes I don't even know what to grab.
Oh yeah, so many different. It's overwhelming. But yeah, that one is like that was the first series I ever completed, and that's like 6 volumes, but they're like big as shit. Like the volumes say.
Yeah, that was the one problem I seen, because I seen how big the fucking Attack on Titan comic books are, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah, because with manga sometimes, well, I know they do it with comics too, but like sometimes they come out with the real small ones at first, but then as the years go by, if it's popular enough, they make like a bigger version of it, and they just stack like 3 volumes within one book sometimes. So that's what they did with Akira too, for like 2 volumes in one. But yeah, that shit is legendary. Akira, I had to get that one. It came in like a box set and everything.
Is there any other ones you're reading, or that's about it?
I'm also reading another big series, Berserk. A lot of people may know the series.
Yeah, man, this is one of them the series, man. I think it's great at first. It's something, I'll tell you, because I can't stand for that fucking ending of that show, man.
Oh yeah, that was shit. So that's just the tip of the iceberg. Like as I kept reading after that part in the series, like it just keeps getting worse and worse.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, it was basically hell.
Yeah, literally.
But I think
that's what it is.
I mean, I was gonna ask you too. Like, I don't know if a lot of people on here actually got a chance to read Berserk or even see the series in the 90s, or the 80s, because I believe you said that was like in the 80s.
It came out in the 90s. Yeah,
89 or 90? Do you know?
89. The manga came out 89, but
the series came out in the 90s.
Series came out in the 90s. Yeah,
got you. Did it actually at some point it kind of explain like his child? Yeah, it did, right? I think.
Who Guts?
Guts is his childhood a little bit.
Yeah. That's the thing with the anime. It kind of skipped over a couple parts in his childhood, but in the manga, it goes more into detail what happened to him as a kid.
Yeah, like what did he have fucking parents, or like what the hell was the?
Yeah, I wish they put that in the anime. I don't know why, but because that's a really important part. It's like spoilers for anybody that didn't read the manga, but he had a mom, right? The way he's born, his mom pretty much got his mom got killed basically, and she got hung from a tree.
Damn! And, for what?
Yeah,
what did she do?
She was just seen as like a casual, just a slave basically, and they just used her for whoever impregnated her, just abandoned her, and it was just she wasn't the only one hanging from the tree either. It was just a bunch of people.
So his dad was a piece of shit. Gotcha.
Yeah, but but as she was pregnant, she was pregnant with Guts at the same time when she died. So the way Guts was born, he basically, that's where he got his name from. He was born from Guts, because when she hung from the tree, he was born from when she was hanging from the tree. Like he came out and he was just laying there. has a fetus.
So she was hanging from the tree. So the umbilical cord and him actually fell like down onto the floor.
Like all her guts came out along with guts on the floor.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's where he got his name from. Like, that's this.
So then,
I was like, oh,
so then who found him? Who found him?
Like, it was the fucked up part is a fucked up guy that found him. It was a bounty hunter that found him. Him and his group of people, his bounty hunters found him.
What and, the fuck?
The one guy that found him, his name was Gambino, and
yeah,
yeah, I know, but yeah, it was just this fucked up guy and his group. But he had like this slave lady with him, and the lady was trying to save Guts, but the guy Gambino, he's trying to kill him because he said, "Oh, that's an almond child. He was born like a demon the way he was born." So he was trying to kill Guts right then and there, but the lady just saved him, and she's like, "Let me just take care of him," and he's like, "Whatever," and he just let her, take care of him.
Oh, that's crazy. Poor Guts, man. No wonder he grew up fucked up.
Yeah, but it's some even more fucked up shit happened to Guts after he was a kid too.
Oh, I'm sure. But see, that's why. Why did they not say that like in the series? I don't know what they were trying to aim for in the series. I think it was just a way to kind of bait the people into like the manga in a way, because it seems like
pretty much what it was. It was an advertisement.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because it was so fucking short, dude. It was like 10 episodes or some shit like that. Yeah, it was not even a lot. And then
but to be fair though, I think they couldn't show a lot of the shit they showed in the manga.
Like, oh no, I'm sure. I mean, even with that last episode, I don't even know how they got away with just airing the last one.
Yeah, and even in that part, they cut out a lot of the parts in the ending. Surprisingly, too, it was even more fucked up at that part.
Yeah. I don't like Griffith. Fuck him.
Yeah, Griffith is something else happens to him later on too.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh, did he finally die? That'd be cool.
No.
Oh.
I haven't got that far yet. I'm still reading it.
He's gonna get his. Believe me.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the series never got a proper ending because of the author.
Yeah, he passed away. Right.
Passed away.
Rest in peace, man.
Yeah. So the series never really got its proper ending, but it pretty much, from what I hear from people, they said where it ended at, it pretty much was a good stopping point anyway, because it was near its end anyway from where it's at.
Damn.
It went up to 41 volumes.
I wish the game was actually good.
Oh yeah, they never really made a good game.
Yeah, we bought it and we were just like, what the fuck is this?
It was really clunky. Yeah, they even made a game before that too. It came out for the Nintendo, that old Nintendo software. I forget the name.
Is it Super Nintendo?
Super Nintendo. Oh no, I'm thinking of Dreamcast. Dreamcast.
Damn.
Yeah, it was a Berserk game that came out for Dreamcast in the early 2000s.
Damn.
But yeah, Berserk. I'm still reading that one. I'm like at volume 25 so far.
That's crazy.
25 out of 41.
I don't know if I have enough time for that, man. I have ADHD. I can't stand. I can't stand still for too much. So
yeah, it's pretty long, but
I just don't have the attention span.
It's one of those legendary mangas. It's actually one of the most popular seinen mangas. Seinen is basically like made for a more mature audience. That's what seinen means in manga. So
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun. That sounds awesome, man. I mean, well, it sounds horrible, but then it also sounds interesting.
Yeah, and the art is beautiful. Like that's like some of the best manga I've ever seen. It's crazy.
Damn, I was gonna tell you too. Like you gotta take us into that world, man. In the anime, yeah, help some people, because I know you've been well versed on it, well educated. Because that's always been your thing. I mean, you have to spend some time and actually kind of explain some of this to me, because I don't know. I could see myself getting into it. I do like it. I do appreciate it. I grew up watching a lot of anime shows besides Dragon Ball Z, and actually, I would like to dive into actual comics. But I mean, I don't know where to start. Most people would probably be like, just fucking pick one and just go from there. But
it really all depends on what genre.
That's why I'd rather have somebody that has like some sort of insight on it. Give me some really good ones that I should probably like. What are your recommendations that I should try out?
As far as mangas,
yeah.
Right? Okay, I'll say start with. So I imagine like you're mostly into like action stuff, like One Punch Man.
Yeah, well, mostly action, but like it doesn't necessarily have to be action. It can also be like kind of drama in there a little bit, and
Okay. I would say this new one, Chainsaw Man, that shit it has like a mixture of action and like suspense like drama to it and like character development.
Yeah.
That one's a good one to start with. Chainsaw Man. That especially when it's like an anime that's about to come out this year, come out for it. That's doing an adaptation for it. Yeah, Chainsaw Man is basically like this guy. He starts off with he's just like a regular dude working like a shitty job. But this contractor comes up to him and he's like, "Hey, you want to?" I believe he's like in a mafia, like a gang, and he makes a deal with him, but he pretty much signing his soul over to him, and he has to sacrifice himself in a way. He puts him on a mission basically to fight off these demons, and he gets killed in the process. And at his dying breath, he takes on like this demon, and it replaces his heart. And that's how he gets the chainsaw as a head. And because the demon that he gets inside of him, it has like a chainsaw power, and he has the capability of transforming his head into a chainsaw, and he fights off like demons. Complete the mission of the contractor that he signed his soul over to. It's an interesting concept.
No, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm not too far into that series, but that's a good one to start off with. And also, I see a lot that even the One Punch Man manga is pretty good.
That's the one that needs to be rebirth. In a way, because honestly, because I mean, I think the series is still running, right? I think for the manga, which is good. I mean, I think we're supposed to get. You said we're supposed to get another one of Mob Psycho, but like, why they don't make another one of One Punch Man, man?
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on.
Like, I know they got 2 seasons, but like, let's get 3 and 4. Why not?
Right.
Such a great series.
At this point, I know they got more than enough material now to add.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, shit, can we see that come again? Like, I want to check. I do want to check out the story in the manga, but I do like the show too. I want to see like more of the show.
Yeah. Yeah, they just got to probably go back to the original studio they worked with in the first season, because a lot of people didn't like the second season.
I still didn't even finish Attack on Titan. Did it finish or?
Oh yeah, the manga finished last year, but the anime, like I said in a previous episode.
Oh yeah, you did say that. You did say that
next year. Yeah, last season.
You did say that. I'm still not even caught up. I gotta check that out.
Yeah. I haven't read the Attack on Titan manga, but from what I heard, like the art is not as good as the show, but they said that the story still goes into more detail than the manga goes into more detail.
Yeah, I can't check out the manga. There's too many of them.
Yeah, it's a lot. And,
there's too many of them. Like, I remember that one time we was at Barnes and Noble. The whole one shelf was just Attack on Titan. I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah,
like it would take me literally almost a month to probably even more to even finish like the entire manga. And like you told me before, I'm like, there's a lot of this. I know, like we said before, we do advise people to check out books instead and read comics, because it kind of kind of shows another piece to like the stories and stuff like that. But you even you said you was like a lot of it, some of it probably is left in the manga. They excluded from the show. I mean, they took it out from the comic books and put it into the show.
Yeah.
But like you said, there's so many. It's almost like you don't have to read the comic. You could just watch the show, and it's almost the same thing. Getting the same getting the same experience.
Right.
Like,
yeah, it all depends. Like something like Berserk, I would say you should read the manga instead of the show. But like Attack on Titan, you should watch the show instead of the manga.
Yeah, it's vice versa. Yeah.
Yeah. So it really all depends on what author is doing it. Some authors put a lot of detail into the stories and some don't. Yeah.
But which one came out first? I think the manga came out before the show, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Attack on Titan manga. Yeah, that's typically how all animes start, with the manga first, unless it's like a one shot. But since you don't want to be going to like a real long going series, I would say this is a manga called Tekken Concrete. That's a good short series that you can probably check out. It's only like 3 volumes long.
Tekken, what is it about?
Tekken Concrete. It's basically about like these 2 kids growing. They're like orphan kids. They like grew up on the street, and like it's funny because it's like one of them is like really goofy and the other one is like really serious. Their names is Black and White, and of course Black is the more serious one and White is the more goofy one, and he has like imagination, and but they basically take on this persona of protecting the street they live on, and like they whatever crime is going on throughout the city, they try to stop it, and they just got like these fucked up like pipes and shit, and they just using like random objects to beat up like street thugs and like stop crime. But the interesting part is like the character development that happens with the kids is like as the story goes on, Black starts to loses his mind, and White starts to like really get the. He starts to get depressed as the series goes on, and they eventually try to they split up, and then they go their separate ways, and they kind of get into some trouble. But the main part of the story is like they had to find themselves throughout the story, like who they was to begin with, like who they really are as themselves. That's like the main core of the story, is like finding who they are and like protecting their city, basically.
That's all that. Yeah, I mean, you only said it was like 3 volumes. I could definitely get into that. That sounds all interesting. Yeah,
and it has like very like it's like a fantasy in a way too, because it's like these aliens come down and they try to. It gets crazy as the series goes on. Like it starts off like really realistic, and then it gets like really abstract as it goes on. It's crazy.
Damn.
It's different. I haven't seen it. It's also has a movie too that came out a long time ago.
I'm sure a lot of animes that are like mangas. I feel like a lot of those actually tend to have an animated movie.
Yeah, I actually seen the movie first before I read the manga. That's how I found out about it.
Yeah, Mob Psycho is cool too. I like that one.
Mob Psycho, yeah.
And when are we getting that season 3? Then you said we're supposed to be getting that pretty soon, or?
Yeah, I believe they said sometime this year or next year. I believe. I'm not sure. I know they recently dropped a trailer this year though. They dropped like 2 trailers to it. So they haven't put like an official date onto it, but they said, I believe next year.
Gotcha. Damn.
Yeah, what I remember. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's some good things in anime that I can probably definitely check out for sure.
Yeah.
Do you have any other insight, like for anybody that's still trying to break into like the anime world and manga world, like pretty much, like any tips?
I'll probably go into like the segment of anime specifically, because the interesting thing about anime is like, especially in this past couple of years, it seems like me and your generation, us growing up since we're like adults now, you're starting to see like people in the media, like people within sports and music, and like even like someone like Elon Musk, they they grew up on anime, and you're starting to see their influences in what they create with themselves, and like for example, like you will see with these rappers nowadays, like Little Uzi Vert, XXX Tentacion, and
Juice
what's
World.
yeah, Juice World, and like a bunch of other rappers within our generation. You'll see like influence of like them using anime characters as like music videos sometimes,
Yeah.
or they were referencing in these songs, or even somebody like Kanye. Like I think he was actually one of the first ones that referenced anime. Like back then, like in the Graduation album. I don't know if anybody really I know a lot of people know that's in the Kanye fan base, but if you look at the album cover for Graduation, it's very anime inspired. Like the way the bear looks, and like the trippiness of the cover. It's actually done by like a anime creator, like somebody that does that kind of art style
I
that
was gonna
created the
say, like,
album
did he
covers.
actually in like the book or something, like in the CD, did he actually add like a character, like a anime version of him? I thought that's what you were trying to say, but
Yeah,
I've
like the
seen the bear
bear.
before. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, like the bear character that he usually uses, like on the
Yeah,
Graduation one particularly, he made it like more anime looking. That's why it has like big eyes and like so colorful. And
gotcha.
like even like Kanye was like one of the first rappers to do it, and like Pharrell too. Like Pharrell is actually really into anime as well. So it's interesting to see like people like that much of a big career, grew up on it or like really inspired by anime. Even like in one of Kanye's music videos, what's that? I believe it's the Stronger song, the one with Daft Punk on the Graduation. Uh, that song, the music video to that song is inspired by Akira. He actually takes like parts of that movie and he reenacts it except in live action, and he like
What was Kira? I don't know what that is.
Akira. That's the series I was
Oh
talking
yeah,
about
yeah,
earlier.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Manga,
yeah.
the first one I read. Yeah, it was inspired by that series, and he basically took like scenes from that movie and he reenacted it in the music video.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
so yeah, like Kanye is a real big Akira fan too. You can see it a lot in his work. But yeah, like things such as music and like even like in pop, like Doja Cat, she be referencing like anime stuff, and like Nicki Minaj be sometimes referencing like kawaii culture and things of that nature. So, and even like in acting, like in movies too. Like have you seen the movie Inception with
No,
Leo DiCaprio?
yeah. I mean, I don't. I've heard of it, but I never wanted to watch it. I know that's like I probably shouldn't do that, but I don't know. That movie looks like it'll just give me a fucking headache.
Yeah, it get really confusing, but
Yeah.
that one's based off of a anime movie that came out before it, made by Satoshi Kon. That's a director of anime. Uh, it's based off his work called Paprika, and
Paprika.
yeah, Paprika.
That's
Yeah,
like a.
that shit is nice. It should like that's a really good movie, anime movie. That's what Inception is based off of though. Like that concept. The director is really inspired by that movie
It
when
just
he makes that.
Inception just feels like I'm high.
Yeah, it's a
Like
real trip.
yeah, like it's like a dream within a dream within a dream, right? Like it just
It's
kept going
really
in like a
meta.
spiral.
It's really meta.
Yeah. I was
Yeah,
like,
even within that movie though, it's like you could see like side by side clips of that movie and the anime movie Paprika, and you could see like those two side by side, like they took like similar images from that movie as inspiration. So I thought that was interesting too. Is like anime even influenced live action movies too, like as of recently. So it's crazy how like, the impact anime is having and the reach of it. Even like
Yeah.
in like sports too,
In
like
sports, that
yeah,
is
like
the first time me hearing about this.
yeah, like recently, like I think it was like 2 years ago, I seen like football players doing like you remember like Trunks and Goten doing the fusion.
Oh
It's like
shit.
yeah, like I seen two football players doing that same, the fusion on the football field when they made a touchdown. I'm like, oh shit, so they must be from our generation. They grew up on Dragon Ball Z. So it's like
I
it's
hate on
everywhere.
how many people like you can be the most like not it like it, you could be one of those people that never got into anime and they'll just be like, yo, you seen DBZ? Like,
Yeah, that's like the most mainstream one.
yeah, I
Dragon
was
Ball
like,
and
bro,
Pokemon is
there's
like the
more
most popular.
animes than fucking Dragon Ball Z. Now, I'm not gonna say it's bad. I mean, it's not trash. I mean, a lot of people don't really like the new ones as much as besides Ultra Instinct, but
Yeah.
it's a series that should have ended a long time ago.
Oh yeah, it's just too long
Yeah,
going.
like I mean, like I
And
said, I don't want to be like one of those people that is always shitting down on on people's parade and stuff, and because then like I said, as a fan, they always want to keep the franchise alive, but come on,
yeah,
man, like at some point you could start to see a decrease in like the story itself and the characters, and it's
quality.
like
Yeah.
it's like I don't know, they're
Anything
just
else, you don't want to keep going. It's just
I say
milking it
this
at
for
that point.
everything that I watch. Like, it's good to
Right.
keep having, like, or even my games. Like, it's good to always keep seeing, like, more of it, like, climb the ladder. But it's like, at some point, you just be like, all right, I don't want to, I want to get something new, something fresh.
Right. Yeah, even like in this one UFC fighter called Demetrius Johnson. He interviewed the person that made Attack on Titan, and he was he the Demetrius Johnson, the UFC fighter. When he
Hmm.
was talking to him, he's like, "Oh, I noticed that in your show," he was talking to the creator of Attack on Titan. He said, "I noticed inside your show that they use a lot of the UFC moves." And he's like, "Oh yeah, that was really inspired by UFC." It was like, "Oh, that's probably why I like it." So it's crazy. Even a UFC fighter is like into anime as well. That's how like
Where did,
smart
where were they inspired by the run?
the way they run.
The way they run, like, I don't know. I remember speaking to like somebody I work with at the time. They were just like, this show creeps me out. And he was like, why? I mean, I was like, why? And he goes, when you're high, you just see like giant fucking things eating people. It's freaky.
Yeah, I think he loosely based it off like zombies, basically, like the way zombies move and like the movements of zombies and shit.
Yeah. Why are they naked though? I don't get it. I don't get that part.
Oh, basically because they
They're
start off as like
giants.
regular humans and then
Yeah.
they break out their clothes, so by default they don't have no clothes. Yeah, but yeah, it's just interesting to see how far and broad anime has reached nowadays. It's crazy. And I'm starting to even see like anime being incorporated into like car commercials too. Like I'm like, what the fuck? And like I recently seen like this one commercial that and a Taco Bell commercial, and they use like anime characters in it. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's
It's crazy.
crazy.
Like even
Yeah.
trying to advertise for it, it's like how far as anime came. It used to be like a really underground thing, but then it just exploded the past couple
We
6 years.
I think we're gonna do that next. We're definitely gonna do like a full episode of just talking about anime.
Oh
We're gonna
yeah,
do that next for you guys.
yeah.
We've never done that. So this is
Right.
actually our very first time. Obviously, Don's gonna be the host of that episode because, like, I'm not really the biggest anime fan. So I mean, definitely, that's why I'm saying I need you to take me down like this journey to kind of like
Oh yeah.
take me and the audience down this journey and tell us like what you know about it, and open our eyes to like a few different stories out there that might interest the people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, definitely brought in with all the information I know of it.
Yeah.
And
But we definitely touched on some good topics for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed everything we kind of been putting out, and we talked about on this episode. Hopefully you guys get a chance to watch it on all of our platforms: YouTube, Spotify. If you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, we're on those as well. And like I said, leave a like and comment so we can actually get a chance to speak to some of you guys and kind of get an insight if you guys been liking some of the content. And I think that's about it. Don, you have anything to say to the audience before we head out today?
Oh, hope everyone has a good one.
All right. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.
Peace.